seminar.
Never in all of my life did a phenomenon sweep all before it and cow and terrorize the big civil institutions of the land, be embraced by all of the mainstream political parties like the Transmania, which was slaughtered today on the altar of the Supreme Court in London, where the learned justices unanimously defined that a woman is an adult human female. It seems ridiculous even to have to state this, but anyone who's lived through the last decade or so realizes what a nightmare this has been. Realizes that little girls going in for boxing are likely to get their lights punched out by a man pretending to be a little girl. That little girl swimmers are likely to be left trailing in the wake of men pretending to be little girl swimmers. That runners, that jumpers, that wrestlers, that all kinds of athletes would not only be forced to share their dressing room with someone with a big swinging dick, but are likely to be overwhelmed by the superior physical strength implicit in being born a male. Now, you may think from the foregoing that I give a toss what people live like, who they love, how they dress, and what they do, but you'd be mistaken. I'm a good time kind of guy. I treat everybody exactly as they want to be treated, and I have always done so. But facts are chiels that win a ding, as we say in Scotland. Facts are facts. They cannot be changed by whimsy. They cannot be changed by a wave of political correctness even. They cannot be changed by making it illegal to state the facts. They cannot. You think I'm joking about that? My monologue so far would, before today's ruling by the High Court, have left me open to prosecution. I mean it. Criminal prosecution for saying what I have just said, even though I'm saying it in my own home, and I'm not making that up either. The reality is that the political class in Britain, and I presume in other Western countries, went overboard hook, line, and sinker. They swallowed whole the nostrum that someone can be a woman merely by declaring themselves to be so. And this led to all kinds of complications, all kinds of crimes, all kinds of loss of rights for actual women. For example, tomorrow the so-called Scottish government is going to have to empty a very large number of male prisoners from the female prison estate. It became quite a racket, you know, with all kinds of unexpected side benefits for prisoners to, whilst on remand or even whilst already sentenced and in prison, to identify as females and have to be moved to a female prison. Well, they subsequently had sex with the female prisoners, subsequently had sex with the female prison staff, and quite often against the will of both. Rape after rape, sexual assault after sexual assault took place on the Scottish prison estate because it was a heresy to question whether that hairy arse stabber and robber that went into prison as a man could now be denied the pleasures of redefining themselves as a woman. None of this is made up, dear viewers from other parts of the world. All of this happened and would have gone on happening until today's ruling of the Supreme Court, which bowls all of these would-be maidens over. It kills forever the idea that someone becomes a woman merely by declaration, and that other women have got to accommodate to their declaration. That institutions no longer have the need to provide single-sex spaces, single-sex wards, single-sex changing rooms, single-sex toilets. All of that will now have to change. The politicians, and I mean all of them, Labour, Liberal, Nationalist, especially Nationalist, work that one out because I cannot, Greens, and even the Conservative Party. All of them bought into this mania. All of them, to a greater or lesser extent, bent the institutions of our land and even the very pronouns of life to what has turned out to have been a here today, gone tomorrow piece of wokery, greenery and quackery, and it's all now